Peace, y'all. It's your girl, Divine Destiny, back with another tea time. Today I am sipping hibiscus and lemon ginger with a little bit of cinnamon, a little bit of honey. What you sipping on? Don't forget to grab your snacks, grab your drink, get you some tea, whatever it is that you need to vibe with me today, because we're back at it, okay? Spirit put on my heart to start pinpointing these tea times. If you have tuned into previous tea times, it's really just like me coming on here and ranting like my unhinged thoughts, truthfully. We are stepping into a different kind of vibe. So tea times are going to be me delivering messages that Spirit has put on my heart to share with y'all. If you see me looking down, I got some notes right here because Spirit put it on my heart, so I had to, make sure that it was going to be delivered the way that Spirit would like it to be delivered to you. With that being said, today we are going to talk about embracing the inner phoenix within you, right? Embracing the inner phoenix within all of us. So let's really dive into what that means, because we all know phoenix rising from the ashes, but I actually had to Google what the actual cycle of life for a phoenix. So I'm gonna look at my notes when I say this. The phoenix actually builds a nest and then ignites the nest itself, right? I did not know this. I thought it was like, I don't know what I thought, but the phoenix actually, like, once it gets to a certain age of adulthood, builds a nest for itself and then lights the nest on fire. And through that nest, that is what creates the fire that the phoenix goes through, right? So the phoenix ignites this nest, and as the old phoenix is consumed by the flames, it actually births or like hatches a new egg, and that egg is bathed in these flames, and then it all turns into ash. And from this ash is what arises the new phoenix, who creates its own, it just follows its own path. It's on a whole new life cycle, right? And it goes into adulthood, and this occurs again and again and again, right? So Spirit put it on my heart to really dive into the inner phoenix within all of us and how we can relate this to our own personal lives, right? So breaking it down, number one, we build our own nest, right? And for us in our lives, this nest is very much so the life that we create for ourselves, the cushy life that we create for ourselves, the things that we're used to, everything around us that gives us comfort, that brings us joy, right? The people, the energies, the places that you surround yourself with, right, is the nest that you're building for yourself. And at some point, when we get into this nest, we get very comfortable. A lot of us get very complacent in our comfort, right? It feels good for this, everything, this life you built for yourself. This is what you're used to. So you're comfortable in it. This is the nest that you built for yourself. And at some point, we got to move into phase 2, which is igniting that nest, right? And the thing about this is, sometimes we ignite the nest ourselves, and sometimes Spirit ignites the nest for us. Okay? We really gonna dive into that. Because if you're igniting the nest yourself, it's like, sometimes you get eager, you're craving change, right? You crave for some kind of motion. You're tired of the stagnancy. You're tired of the same old thing and routine and energy every day. So your spirit actually begins to crave for you to light that nest up, right? For you to change, make some kind of shift in your own energy, in your own self, right? Sometimes we are so complacent in this energy, in our own nest, in this own comfort, in that stagnancy, that Spirit's like, no, we're not doing that. It's time for a change. And Spirit comes just like, boop, right? Lights that, hits that ignition real quick and lights it all up, right? Recognizing that lighting up the nest, whether it was Spirit doing it or whether you chose to do this yourself, is creating change, craving some kind of change or shift in your world or in your life or within yourself at this time, right? That's really what the ignition is of the nest. If you are not craving change and you are entirely too comfortable in that complacency, if you're entirely too comfortable in that stagnation, then spirit is, of course, going to be like, well, it's time for change anyway, because life is ever changing, right? So either you're going to flow with the change and ignite your own nest, or you're going to resist the change and it's going to get lit up anyway. So recognizing that, is definitely easier to ignite the change and ignite the nest yourself, rather than to resist it and it be lit up anyway. And now things are exploding and crashing around you, and you don't know which way to move because you were so stuck and complacent in that space in your life, right? Whereas if you prepared yourself for this change, for this shift, if you were open and fluid in your energy, so that as things do change in life, right, you are also willing and open to move with those changes. That's really embracing the phoenix, because the phoenix knows, I'm moving into adulthood, I'm moving into this new phase of life. I'm naturally going to build this nest. I'm naturally just going to say, it's time for a new phase, it's time for a new cycle of life, and burn everything up, right? So if we're moving with the energy of the phoenix, it's moving with the fluidity of being comfortable with the ever changing ebbs and flows of life, right? Number 3 is being consumed by the flames, right? This is when you're like actually in the thick of it, right? Shit is actually changing, moving, shifting, crumbling, depending on which way we moving on this scale of being the phoenix, right? If we're moving with being the phoenix, things are just changing and you're moving with those changes. If you are resisting the phoenix energy, then things are probably crumbling, or at least that's how you're perceiving it, because you're not flowing with the changes of life, the ever-changing moments of life, because life is never still, right? Yeah, so it's moving with this change, and this, my friends, this is where the crossroads begins. This is where you actually fully choose, are you going to embrace and step into that phoenix energy, or are you going to just fall into the ashes and never arise again, right? Because you've already moved with the change, things are already shifting, right? You can't, once the move is moving, once the change is changing, things are already shifting in your life. Like, you can't go back to what was if things are already not what they were before, right? And so spirit is encouraging us to recognize the phoenix within ourselves, even in these moments where everything is ablaze, right? Whether you evoke this change or spirit evoke this change, life is just changing as it's supposed to, right? As everything is up in flames and everything is ignited and at this heightened stage, this is where you choose, am I going to embrace my phoenix energy, or am I going to just fall into the ashes? Because the next step, number 4, is hatching the egg. As you're in the flames, you're becoming this new version of yourself, alchemy at its finest, right? Everyone is an alchemist. It's a choice to be the alchemist. It's a choice. Are you going to allow these flames to evoke new change within you? Are you going to allow these flames to help you alchemize whatever past situations are in the ashes into this new phoenix? Or are you going to allow these flames to just break everything down into ashes? This is the crossroads that most of us face, and this is literally the pivotal moment. Are you embracing your phoenix energy, or are you just some regular ass bird? Because step 4, like I said, is hatching the egg. So becoming this new version of yourself, stepping into this new phase, this new opportunity, this shift, this new relationship, whatever it might be for you, right? Whatever this change might look like for you, all change is coming with flames. All change comes through the flames, right? The metaphorical flames of life. So are you going to choose to alchemize yourself into a new, higher more knowledgeable, stronger, wiser version of yourself so that you can really overcome the flames it is that you're sitting in? Or are you going to sit back and just let the flames overtake you? It is absolutely a choice. Spirit is encouraging you to step into and embrace the full Phoenix energy and allow the things it is that you're healing from, going through, coping with, to be the pivotal point of your alchemization into your highest good, highest self, and highest purpose, especially right now. Spirit is really asking all of us, through all of the changes, all of the shifts that are occurring, right, on a global scale, also on a personal scale. Allow these things to become the ignition of alchemization for your own life, right? No matter what that might look like for you, right? Spirit really wants us to recognize that everything that is happening to us is actually happening for us, for our highest good, for our highest self, for our highest purpose, right? It is helping to make us stronger, wiser, spiritually, mentally, emotionally, physically, financially, right? So Spirit is asking you to recognize that portion of it, right? Really step into, I am in these flames. I am in this energy of change. I see this shift occurring, and I am going to allow this to create new life within me. I'm not going to allow this to turn me into ash and that be the end of my story, right? Because it's not the end of your story. You are the phoenix rising from the ashes. So no matter what these ashes look like for you right now, my friend, know that you can always alchemize your situation. Number 5, the egg is bathing in the flames, right? So the old you has now alchemized into a new you, and it's inside this egg. It has hatched an egg of a new version of yourself, and this new version of yourself is also sitting in these flames with you. And once everything turns into ash, it has all gone away, all right? All of the flames have gone away, and everything is now ash. That is when things ignite, right? That's when, not things ignite, that's when you turn into the new phoenix. You arise as the new version of yourself. But we cannot miss that portion of the phase of the new you is also bathing in those flames. So at some point you transition from the old self into the new self in those flames, right? You alchemize from the old version of yourself into the new version of yourself, who is ready to receive whatever is on the outside of this flame ignition moment, whatever is on the outside of this shift, of this change, because the flames are not going to last forever, right? So Spirit is giving me like the analogy, or I don't even know if it's an analogy, but Spirit is giving me like the example of, you can equate the egg bathing in the flames to you being tested in this new season, in this new version, in this new phase of life, right? So, tests come to you when you're like, oh, you become a new person, you step into this new phase, this new experience, this new cycle, right? This new version of yourself. You're going to be tested. That is the egg in the flames, bathing in the flames. You are being tested. Are you going to react from your old version of self? Or have you truly alchemized those parts of yourself into the new version of you? And how are you going to react as the new version of self? How are you going to react in this new phase of life? How are you going to react in this new opportunity, in this new experience, in this new relationship? Are you going to take the energies and the emotions and the traumas and the triggers of your past self experiences and energies, relationships, into this new phase? Because the whole point of being up in the damn flames is to let all of that fall away, to let all of that fall into the ashes, because you don't need it anymore. The only thing you need, baby, is you inside that egg. Okay. And last but not least, number 6. Step 6 is actually rising from the ashes, right? You bathed in the flames, you've been tested. Are you truly stepping into this new version of yourself? Are you truly open to these new opportunities? Are you truly open to what this change has brought into your life? Or are you still holding on to past traumas, past ideologies, habits, mindsets, patterns, cycles, people, energy, places, self, right? Are you holding on to these past versions and energies, or have you truly stepped into the new highest version of you, your highest good, your highest self, your highest purpose, right? That version of you is what rises from the ashes. That version of you is what's birthed from the change, from the movement, right? The elevated version of you, the more healed version of you, right? The less triggered version of you is what's rising from the ashes, and that's what's calling you at this time. Especially if you find yourself in the flames right now, Spirit is asking you, are you going to become this new version of yourself? Are you going to step into this phase, into this next cycle of life, a better self, a healed self, a less triggered self, right? Or are you going to allow the wounds, the losses, and the heartaches of the past to keep you in this old version of yourself and not allow yourself to fully embrace and step into this full phoenix rising? You are the phoenix, my friend. Embrace that fully and wholeheartedly and authentically, right? Embrace the changes that are occurring within you so that you can move authentically through the changes that are occurring around you, right? The shifts that are occurring around you, because as within, so without. So everything that is reflecting within you, the changes that are occurring within you are also occurring without of you, right? Outside of you. So Spirit is encouraging you to embrace this fully. Open up to the changes, open up to the shifts. Don't be afraid to release past versions of yourself, past traumas, past emotions, past ways of thinking, being, patterns, cycles, habits, whatever it is that is holding you back from truly and fully and authentically hatching into this new healed, authentic version of yourself. Allow it to fall into the ashes and burn away and alchemize into everything it is you've been asking for, everything it is that you've been praying for, right? Everything it is that you've been manifesting, right? If you're holding on to, whether you're holding on to being in the egg and you don't want to come out, or you're holding on to the past version of yourself so you ain't even allowing yourself to hatch the egg, right? Spirit is saying, you got to open up. You have to allow yourself to flow with the changes. These steps that occur with the phoenix, they naturally occur, which is exactly what is supposed to happen for us. We are supposed to allow these shifts and changes, these ebbs and these flows to naturally occur. But as humans, as people with feelings and emotions, we get tied to things and we hold on to things so tightly that we do not allow ourselves to alchemize the things that no longer serve us, the things that are no longer in alignment or a vibrational match for where it is we're going and what it is we want to be doing, right? We all are manifesting something. We all are asking for or praying for some kind of shift, some kind of change, something in your life it is that you want. And so Spirit is saying, if you want to receive what you've been asking for, you have got to be comfortable with alchemizing the past you, the past version of yourself, into the newer version of yourself, the higher version of yourself, the more elevated version of yourself that is a vibrational match in full alignment with what it is that you've been asking for. That's the message, man. Be the phoenix. Be the phoenix. Don't get caught in the ashes. Because it's not, hello, our nature is to be the phoenix. Go with nature, go with the flow of it all, man. Move with the ebbs and flows of life. If you like this video, share it with somebody you love. And until next time, stay divine.